The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
TBS, America's #1 independent television network, presents the following sports exclusive.
You're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
Follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports.
Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes.
And check out every episode of the show at basicallysports.tumblr.com.
Now here's your hosts, Zach,
Greg, Mike.
And this is Andy, and you're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
And here we are. And I'm happy to say that Zach and Mike both survived yesterday's Rams-Bucks game. They're in stable condition and ready to do the show.
Yes, I'm very mentally stable today.
Well, let's just get right into it. I mean, so Zach, I mean, this is yesterday. Well, and Mike, Mike, it's a little bit less, it's only slightly less compelling because you've obviously tasted a championship pretty recently.
Yes.
So let's start with Zach here. Tell us about how that fourth quarter went for you.
Oh, dear God. So, I mean, look, I was so ready to cruise in this thing because, like, I didn't enter the day thinking that was going to happen because I'm like, it's fucking Tom Brady, and this is just something that happens. Like, you know, who knows what's going to happen in the early parts of this game, and yet the Rams played as perfect of a first half as I could have imagined. Right now, where the first seed of doubt drops in is right there at the end of the first half, when if the Rams score on that final drive and they're up 27-3 going into halftime, I think like this is a complete wash after that point to me. At that point, it's like, no, you know what? This is it. At most, all the Rams need is like a field goal, and it's the end of the game, whatever. And then they fumble on the one. Not great. Come out of halftime, and it's like, okay, we get the ball back. They can still put it in there. And then they maybe get a first down. I forgot how that played out the first drive.
3 and out.
Yeah. And then it was like, shit, this is how the San Francisco game went. But it wasn't in my mind yet because it's like even as much as the Rams tried to start giving the game to the Bucks, they still weren't doing anything with it. And so going into the fourth quarter, yes, like there's all that the fumbles back and forth in the third quarter, but then you start off the third quarter, Rams have the football still, and it's a 14-point lead. When my sphincter officially closed was when the Rams blew off all of 9 seconds to start the fourth quarter and gave Tom Brady nearly the entire fourth quarter to tie it at with 14 points. And it was at that point that I was like, oh shit. Oh no, this is happening, isn't it? No. Not us, not this time. Not again. Not this motherfucker.
Like
man, yeah.
So, but to me, the moment that like I nearly collapsed in my kitchen was when Akers fumbled the ball.
Yes, no, that was where I was going to get to. Like all the other fumbles, I was not happy with. I'm an expressive guy when I'm watching a game, but I don't. When bad things happen, I tend to just kind of sink into myself rather than like scream out loud. So usually I sit there, I have my hat on, and I'll just kind of slope back into my seat, pull my hat down over my eyes for just a second, and just be like, "Oh God." When that one, when Akers fumbled, because at that point it's like, okay, we need a drive, we get a first down, then it's done. And then he fumbled. I out loud, "Oh no!" My exact reaction. And then because it's like, fuck, now you know this game's gonna be tied, and you're not gonna have enough time left, and you're gonna go to OT, and God knows Tom Brady's gonna get the ball first, and then the season is over. We fucked it up. We royally fucked it. Sure enough, tie game. Damn it. And then the improbable, the magic.
Which I missed, by the way.
Finding Cooper Kupp.
I want to point out that in typical fashion, I did not see the Cooper Kupp play.
Yeah, same. My feed died. All I saw was Rams people celebrating, and you sent a congratulatory text, and I was like, "Well, the Rams won, I guess." I
got to see the field goal, but I did not see the play preceding it. I'm like, how did that happen? I never even saw. Yeah, so
the Bucks decided to do a zero blitz.
Yeah,
send the house, except I think one of the linebackers forgot to send himself, according to Bruce Arians, and so there wasn't all that much pressure on Stafford despite the zero blitz, and he just hucked it straight down the field where there's no safety to Cooper Kupp. And that was one of the single greatest football plays that I've experienced as a fan, just because I was as low as possible at that point. Because, like, no, we're not doing it. We fucked it up. We screwed the pooch on this. And I won't be able to enjoy this anymore. and then again, out of nothing, Matthew Stafford overcomes the demons. Cooper Kupp is the MVP. I don't care about Aaron Rodgers. I don't care about Tom Brady.
I am with you.
He's the most valuable player to his team
100%
this season. And Matt Gay, despite I was a little nervous only because Matt Gay came up short on a 47-yarder earlier, and I was I don't know. And then he hit it, and I was on a pretty good high for about an hour afterwards. Went to the grocery store immediately after the game was over with all my stuff. Other guys in their Rams gear showing up to the store. We, high five, exchange emotions, and try to get on with the rest of our lives. But man,
it was fun. I just couldn't believe it. I didn't want to say anything because when it was 27-3, like 7 minutes to go in the third quarter, I went, man, this sounds familiar. And then it started happening. I was like, oh my God, we're not going to have to do this again, are we?
The Brady pass to Evans felt like I was watching some deep mythical sea creature just emerge to eat and consume and destroy hope and happiness.
Yep.
No offense, Mike. I understand. So how did you feel, Mike? I mean, you basically almost saw another miracle.
Well, it's really okay. So it's really a weird perspective to have, and I guess you could say for this game and also all of last year too, to be perfectly honest, is that traditionally my teams I root for don't do all that well. The failure of the Leafs has been documented here. The Blue Jays have had some good teams over the years that just haven't been able to punch that ticket for whatever reason. Raptors won a championship, but the thing with the Raptors when they won that championship is, like, I kind of feel like that was a universal. Everyone was just kind of happy to see someone not Golden State or Cleveland win, and I didn't really see a lot of blowback aside from salty Spurs fans on on the Raptors winning, but this Tampa Bay run has kind of been odd because it's like, and again, I'll point you to the tape. I switched my allegiances to the Bucks before Brady signed.
You did. I will vouch for that 100%. You absolutely did.
When I decided to switch my allegiance to the Bucks, the going rumor was that it was going to be Phillip Rivers who was going to come here because he had just moved his family to Florida, and that seemed to be what was happening. And I thought that would have been hilarious because I finally gave up the Chargers when Phillip Rivers left the team, and that would have been hilarious if he just, ended up playing for my new team. But it didn't happen. Tom Brady happened. And I kind of got the blowback that was the Tom Brady hate, which is something that I have legitimately never experienced before because, like, nobody who has ever played for any of my teams has ever been like that guy. Like, never. I've rooted for some teams, some good players, but no one who was ever, that dominant and that hated all at once. That's never happened. So, like, it's been weird dealing with it. And last year he won the Super Bowl and I was excited to watch it. It was a lot of fun watching it. seeing it happen, and that people are like getting really angry, and I'm like, I get it. You don't like Tom Brady, but like, this is the Bucs. This team sucks. Like, I didn't quite understand the haterade. I mean, I kind of did.
I can explain it really quick if you'd like.
No. I get it to a degree. I just
Jameis Winston should have been quarterbacking that team to the Super Bowl. That's what we're all bummed about.
Jameis Winston can 500
yards passing, and 5 interceptions, and they still won the Super Bowl. That's what I was hoping for.
Well, I guess the point. My point is that like the dealing with the hate that was Tom Brady, and Zach and I have joked about it on the show since like Zach's been like, I've sat here listening to you hate on Tom Brady like everyone else for years, Mike. Like, what happened to you? And it's like, I don't know, man. He ended up as the quarterback. He ended up as the quarterback of my team through sheer coincidence. Am I not supposed to like? I don't know. It's weird, but at the same time, so the whole thing has kind of been crazy, and the reason I'm kind of giving this retrospective look at it is because there's a good chance that was probably Tom Brady's last game.
What do we think? Do we think he's done?
Well, I don't know, and he's not.
He put out something with the hashtag "keep going" last night, so I don't know if that means anything.
So it's one of those things where, maybe he will, maybe he won't. But I did kind of want to give that sort of perspective as to where like I was kind of coming from. But as far as the game went yesterday, I'm actually a lot like you, Zach, in that like if things aren't going well, I kind of just sink into myself. And so that was me for most of that game because the Rams were kicking their ass and. Like nothing was clicking for the Bucs. Like Suck Up even missed a field goal at one point. Which I think at that time
that was also immediately after the Tom Brady biting his own lip.
Yes,
and getting mad at everyone for bleeding his own blood.
Yeah, but what? That guy, that fucking asshole. He didn't play great yesterday. I mean, did anybody think Tom Brady played a great game yesterday? No, it was pretty bad actually. And that motherfucker is so good that even when he was playing bad, we're still sweating him to the very fucking end.
Well, there's a lot that could be talked about that, but like, I think it was kind of wild because I kind of went from being kind of very reserved, and I think the first time I actually got excited watching it was that touchdown pass to Evans, which is sort of one of those things where it's like, and I guess this ties into what Greg is saying, is that even when Tom Brady's being bad, playing badly, he can still pull off a pass like that and completely change the dynamic of the game. And that got me excited. And then it was followed by the Akers fumble, which was like, oh my God, what the hell is happening? Like, everything's breaking the right way again. This is amazing. And then Leonard Fournette ran it in because everyone on the Rams thought Brady was going to QB sneak it, and then
why wouldn't you?
And then Leonard Fournette just ran around the pile. But and then so like I think at that point I called out Lenny. But yeah, and then. You kind of look at it and you go, okay, I think there's like around 42 seconds, I want to say. There's 42 seconds left. The time that I started getting concerned was actually there were two passes to Kupp.
Right. Yep.
The first one got them to just short of midfield, I think.
Yeah, something like the 40.
Yeah, and when that happened, I looked at the play, I looked at the clock, and I was like, the Rams are a bit too far up the field for the amount of time left for it to be comfortable. Like I'm like, no. So like at that point, I started getting focused on the game again, and I started getting a bit nervous, and it was sort of like, okay, there needs to be a stop here. They need to clamp down here and force overtime. And then, Cooper Kupp made that amazing, Stafford made that amazing throw. Kupp made that amazing catch. And I mean, it was pretty much over at that point. Like, of course, you kind of hold out hope for a blocked or missed field goal, but it was effectively over once Kupp made that catch. I would say it was, man, that was wild. Like, because it's the opposite of what Zach experienced to kind of go from like, holy shit, we just completed a 27-3 comeback to like, fuck, we lost. But I like, and there's really nothing to say other than like, I think unlike another game which had a similar play that we'll get to, I don't think you can criticize the play calling so much, like, because I thought about it and it's like, prevent defense works if all you need to do is stop the other team getting a touchdown. But, in this case, because it was a tie game, the Rams just needed a field goal. You can't play prevent defense if you're trying to
play regular stand-up defense is what you should do.
Yeah.
What you shouldn't do is do an all-out blitz, honestly. I think that was the one thing you shouldn't have done.
I think the play call, I think the call in and of itself was fine. I think the problem was just that, someone missed his assignment and
yeah.
And the whole idea of the blitz is, okay, if Matt Stafford has too many people in his face, he's not going to see Kupp or he's not going to be able to get it to him. But someone on the Bucs who was supposed to blitz didn't, and that meant that Stafford had the time he needed to hit Kupp. And
I think somebody broke it down today. It was supposed to be David, the middle linebacker.
Oh yeah,
and he like took like one step forward and then didn't continue and just kind of like
no, like it's really baffling because it is, as you said, Zach, it was a zero blitz. It's like this shouldn't be something where you get your assignments confused. It should be no, run at the QB man. Do that.
It was just as the game set in on me too. It was just like the thing that I relished the most after coming down from just the elation for a second was just that's how it feels, Tom.
Yeah.
That's what it's like to be on the other end of it, because that was the very first time Tom Brady has lost on a game on the final play of a game.
Ever?
Or
just in the playoffs?
He's never ever. He's never been on the other side of like a buzzer-beating field goal.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Really?
Right. This was the very first time that's ever happened to him. So it's like, you know what, man? This is what it feels like. You with your sad sack, little droopy face and your stitched up lip, you poor little boy. That's what it feels like.
Well,
yeah.
And really, and the bit lip thing, that was another time where I thought that was one of the times where I thought everything was going to be okay because he bit his lip. He was mad. He got his first ever unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
That was a bullshit call. Bullshit call. Look. Rams played a great game. They won the game. I'm not taking anything away from him. That was a bullshit call, and I will stand by that.
What, the unsportsmanlike, or that he didn't get called for a penalty?
The unsportsmanlike.
He said something to the referee enough to get it through.
Oh, come on.
Come on. But like the thing, so it was like, okay, I was like, shit, we just pissed him off.
That was what I was concerned about. Like, he was just imploding that whole game at that point. It's like, don't make him mad.
And then they came down and missed the field goal. And so it was like, oh, maybe this is the day.
It bleeds.
Everything will be fine.
It bleeds. Yeah.
What happens when you see a god bleed?
Yeah. It was 20 years, almost 20 years ago to the day that the Tuck Rule game happened.
Yeah.
And, Brady basically started a new era of quarterback preference. And then on Sunday, he was like, me, what if I was touched? And didn't get a call. And it's like, good.
No, you know what that is? It was entirely a thing of he tasted his own blood in his mouth. And so he thought, I have never had this sensation before.
No, you know what he thought, don't you? He thought, I wonder if this is what strawberries taste like.
Yeah, it's probably he probably exceeded his calorie count for the day when he swallowed a little bit of blood.
And again, like, despite, yes, the comeback was bad, but the Rams were really trying to get like that. This game should have been even worse for the Rams. Like the Bucs should have had the lead at some point because they kept just trying to get like hell.
Oh yeah.
They forced the fumble. Von Miller with a strip sack of Tom Brady. Great. Set up in position to again put a killing blow in there. And the very first play is a snap over Matthew Stafford's head. And it's just like, what are you doing? What is happening here? Like that's when it was truly the comedy of errors that were going against the Rams. And yet the Bucs were coming back, but it wasn't like they were storming back.
No, and you know that whole thing is why everybody's like, this is the greatest playoff weekend ever. I'm like, the Bills-Chiefs game was really good. Rams and Bucs had its moments, but it was a derp fest for like 20 minutes. And then the two on Saturday were fucking just slogs. So I don't understand all the slog.
But there's drama every game,
but that doesn't mean it's good.
All four games ended with a walk-off play.
Yeah. Do you guys? I know you guys were happy the Packers lost, but let's be honest about it. Was that game entertaining other than them losing? No.
No. The game was not entertaining.
That was the perfect game to have on in the background as I had it on at the
airport.
I was at.
Yeah. Man, I was thoroughly entertained by watching the internet just bring the knife up and down again and again, and just stabbing that that piece of shit, Aaron Rodgers, in the fucking heart over and over again.
Yeah,
just
relishing his pain.
So he wasn't getting jabbed in the arm, is what you're saying?
Hell no.
You know, it took me like 20 minutes to get the jokes yesterday. Like, the Rodgers never got a shot, and then I went, "Oh, that's funny." It's like, I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's good."
The one I liked was the Packers offense really could have used a shot in the arm.
Well, you know what? I'm so fucking over that guy. It's just like, dude, just fuck off. Either come to Cleveland or fucking go away. I don't care either one.
The Packers Niners game was really interesting because
it was.
Well, no. It was interesting because Jimmy Garoppolo played like it's like you want to talk about it's like, oh, Tom Brady had a bad game. All right. Tom Brady threw a touchdown pass. All right. That's more than you could fucking say for Jimmy Garoppolo in that game. Jimmy Garoppolo had one of the worst. That was one of the worst QB performances I've seen in a playoff win probably ever.
And the funny thing about that too is he's after the game, he's the one that's all jacked up and yelling "fuck the Packers," and it's like, what exactly did you contribute to this one?
They could have just snapped the ball directly to their running back for the entire game, and nothing would have changed.
The ends justify the means. Go ahead, Greg.
The 49ers defense played great in that game. I don't know if the Packers had a bad offensive day or what, but because the Pack drove down the first drive like it was nothing on those guys. And that was it. That was all they were able to do the entire game. And I don't know. I got to say, man, if you guys can't beat these guys this time, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, that's what I was going to say too. Is like it's encouraging to see how Garoppolo has kind of devolved as each week has gone on. Like you're right. Like if the Rams can't do it this time, then they'll just never do it. But I'm still sweating.
They've lost 6 straight to those guys.
I am going to say that. As far as these playoffs go, it's not been a one for breaking streaks. The Niners were undefeated against Rodgers in the playoffs. They continued that. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have never beat the Rams in a playoff game. That streak continued. Yeah. And so, like, I don't know, like there's this streak, but the promising thing is like it's promising. It's also intriguing, like because we talked about Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm now fully at the point. I'm converted on this belief that Kyle Shanahan is not a good football coach. I'm watching his play calling, and I'm like, the San Francisco 49ers are in the NFC title game completely despite their head coach and quarterback, and that's
and look, I think I think praise the Niners defense. I think you can fault the Packers offense, but really what bailed the 49ers out and what killed the Packers was the Packers special teams.
Yeah,
so bad. Their punting all night was terrible.
That blocked punt was
Well, right. First they have the blocked field goal in the first half.
Yeah.
And I forget something else happened. Oh, well, right. Then you have the blocked TD, blocked punt for TD where nobody knew where the hell the ball went.
That was funny though, right? Watching them all look around. It was like when they lose a pop up in baseball. Nobody knew.
But by doing that gave the Niners like the way back into the game. That tight, like if you just get off
that Niners offense was not doing shit.
No,
exactly.
But you know what else?
And then on top of it all, on the game-winning field goal coming out of a timeout, they only put 10 guys on the field.
Who is the special teams coach for the Green Bay Packers?
He's going to be the guy. He's going to be the guy bagging groceries down at the Green Bay.
The homeless man on the side tomorrow. Of the freeway.
Well, okay, you want you want to talk about how bad the special teams were for the Packers? That's fine, but you know what? They the league MVP again at home.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you're right.
And this guy is not. Man. Let me just savor how I fucking hate this man so much that I can't find the words to just put a sentence together. I'm so glad that I just for a day get to just dance merrily on his fucking grave.
Well, the thing about Aaron Rodgers that makes him even more infuriating is like the whole drama that comes with it because he held out this past offseason.
Well, it's been a whole fucking year of this nonsense.
And now it's going to drag on again because the only reason he agreed to come back was because they rewrote his contract to basically allow him to do whatever the fuck he wants now.
Yes.
So now, remember how everyone hated Brett Favre during those 2 seasons where it's like, will he, won't he retire? It's going to be that now with is he going to come back? Will he come back? Won't he come back?
Will he be a Viking? Will he go to the Jets?
Oh God!
I think he goes to the Niners, guys. I think that's the logical point. I think
doesn't he hate them though because they passed on him?
I don't think so. Here's what I think will happen. I think that they will swing some sort of deal where they're going to get Garoppolo.
Denver.
They still want him after seeing him up close and personal.
But not just Garoppolo. They're going to get a couple draft picks. They're going to send Rodgers to the Niners, and he's going to be the guy that will be there while Trey Lance is the QB in waiting. So you might get maybe one more. I got to be honest. If you put Aaron Rodgers, for all the assholeness that he is, you give him that Niners team, and that's his like if he can't do it with them, then it's on him.
He's not going to the Niners. There's no fucking way he's going to the 49ers.
But
the team that I heard that probably Makes the most sense is Denver.
Now
Denver, maybe Carolina. You're
forgetting the most important factor in this. So he's not going to go to a team that's not good.
Yeah,
this guy. You really think this guy with his fucking ego and all that, and he's going to go?
He flat out said it in the post-game press conference. He said, "I don't want to be here in Green Bay for a rebuild."
Well, they can't pay him. They're $50 million. They're
$44 million over the cap. Yeah,
and they have 18 free agents coming up that they can't re-sign. This team is fucked. They're going back to the 80s, and I love it. Fuck the Packers. Fuck them. They deserve this. They deserve 30 years.
Andy's full on. The bad man is gone.
I think Dennis provides
I've been here with Pittsburgh numerous times. I know exactly how he feels.
Yeah, Dennis. So Dennis saying Pittsburgh is the one.
No,
that one feels the most right to me because the Pittsburgh. Okay. This might be mean, but the Pittsburgh Steelers feel like Aaron Rodgers, the team.
They don't have it again, though. I go back to the same thing. If this were a normal person, a normal quarterback who just wanted to play football, all those teams are in play. But we're not talking. This is like
Pittsburgh's got guys though.
Yeah, they don't have enough guys.
Pittsburgh made the playoffs with the burnt out husk of Big Ben shuffling around the field.
Yeah, because the Colts couldn't beat the fucking Jaguars. That's why. I mean, that's the only reason they got in.
Okay, well, that's funny.
It really it all depends on where Nathaniel Hackett goes because he's a finalist for the Denver job. So if he goes to Denver, then it's probably going to be where Rodgers would go because that's his, quarterback coach, OC type person who he would.
Does he like any of his coaches though? I get the feeling he has this general disdain for everyone.
No. And I don't see him having any kind of loyalty to any coach. I don't see him having any loyalty to anything.
Well, it's not about loyalty. If he goes and follows his coach is going to know that hey, any coach worth their salt would be like, hey, this guy's an MVP. I'm just going to let him do whatever the fuck he wants because he's probably going to win the game. Good. My
money's on San Francisco. I think that makes the most sense because the Niners don't want you can't let Jimmy Garoppolo lead you to possibly to a Super Bowl and then go, well, you know what, fuck you, we're gonna have Trey Lance start anyway. But you can go, hey, you know what, we're gonna trade you while you're at your peak value for this guy, because you don't want to be the quarterback in waiting for the guy that's just like keeping the seat warm for the next season. This guy's on his way out, so we'll bring him in. He can do that, and you can go play somewhere where you're not going to worry about it. That's
Rodgers said before the season started he doesn't want to be a lame duck quarterback. So I mean, if you go to San Francisco, that's what you're going to be anyway.
He can hold off Trey Lance for 3 or 4 years if he wanted to. I'm just telling you what. This is what I see.
Does he even have 3 or 4 years left in him?
Well, I don't know. Probably two decent years. But as we saw, I think we're seeing it with Brady. Well, no, we didn't. He's still fantastic. But
Rodgers isn't Brady. Rodgers isn't going to play till he's 45.
Neither is Brady, but that's beside the point.
Brady's 44 right now, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's done. Here's what I think Brady should do, honestly. I think he should go George Bland and stick around as like the grizzled old veteran quarterback backup and start smoking Camels on the sidelines and just do the whole bit. That'd be awesome.
Well, the thing about Tom Brady, right, which is, so I was having some discussion with friends where I was saying, like this could be Tom's last season because he has said in interviews that his last season will come sooner rather than later because it's like, oh, my kids are getting older. I want to spend time with them. Like, it's not about, my ability to play. It's about like wanting to be with my family. And it's like, that kind of sounds like he's laying the foundation to get out. And a friend I was talking to just, said, yeah, but he's playing really well. And he did, like, stats wise, he had a great season this year. So it's one of those weird things where it's like Tom Brady is sort of an anomaly and you can't really, and that's like, okay, here's the thing. Tom Brady basically reinvented his diet to ridiculous, absurd Dennis and Always Sunny in Philadelphia degrees to stave off aging, to be able to do what he does.
Time is undefeated.
Yeah, and eventually time will catch up to him. But the fact that he's able to stretch it to 44, it's like, okay, that's impressive. But that shit's not what Aaron Rodgers is doing. Aaron Rodgers dates a hippie who bleaches her asshole in sunlight and eats clay and drinks rainwater she collects on her own and took horse paste for COVID. So like I'm not certain that Aaron Rodgers' body is going to be able to hold up at 44 the way Tom Brady's has.
First off, okay, let's stop with the horse paste. It was prescribed by a doctor. It was human.
I understand that, but the fact that he has flowing, healthy mane of hair just makes the joke too easy to pass up.
That's a fair point. But I'm not saying he's going to play till he's 45. I'm saying he's probably got 2 good years left in him.
Well, he's 38 now for context.
Okay, we'll say it's like next year and maybe one more after that.
Right. That's why he would be okay in San Francisco.
Right, exactly.
Because
like
based on everything I've heard and even the bits I saw, it doesn't seem like Trey Lance is as ready as San Francisco expected him to be.
No, I don't think so either.
I mean, they're still running. They ran with Jimmy Garoppolo, which should tell you everything.
Hell, honestly, I don't know if Kyle Shanahan will be Trey Lance's coach when all is said and done. So it's
well, according to Kyle Shanahan, we could all be dead tomorrow. So what's the point of speculation?
I want Brady to go. Okay, I've won 7 Super Bowls. I almost pulled off another miraculous comeback. You know what? Fuck the diet. Get me a pack of Luckies. I'm going the George Blander route for the next 5 years.
That is so like that is first of all that's like not in Brady's character whatsoever. Unless he's secretly been like enslaved.
Well, I know it's not. I just think it would be fun.
That's more of like what's that quarterback? He's a backup for the Eagles now. He's played for the Jags. Mustache, long hair.
Gardner Minshew.
I'm talking about Gardner Beowulf Minshew.
See, that's the thing where people are going like, "Oh, what are the Bucs going to do for a QB? If Brady, says I'm done." And it's like, trade for Gardner Minshew. All right. So here's what you do: you trade for Gardner Minshew, make him the Bucs starting quarterback. Go back to the Creamsicles full time. It's fucking amazing. You got Gardner Minshew Gardner Beowulf Minshew III with the mustache, with the cigarettes on the sideline wearing the creamsicles every week? God, yes. That's the NFL team I want to be a fan of.
Obviously, I'm kidding about Brady becoming George Blanda. I just think it would be funny if that's what he did.
No, I know. I just feel like he's such an elitist about
that's
everything
what would be
he
funny
does.
about it.
But it feels so disingenuous. I mean, unless he came out full bore, was like, listen, I've been doing this for years because Giselle's a bitch, and I just have I haven't had agency in my own life,
right?
And now I'm saying, fuck it.
I'm gonna retire and get me a plate of wings and a tub of ice cream.
No, man, he's gonna come back as the backup quarterback for the Bucks, and he's gonna have like a pack of Luckies rolled up in his sock. He's gonna have a bottle of Jack sitting off to the side.
Just
and,
like sickly fat and bloated.
Right,
clearly,
he's got a big gut.
just clearly unwell.
Stops coloring his hair and lets it go natural gray like it should, and he'll be George Blanda. And it'll be
he's gonna look awesome. Like he'll look like Steve Bannon on the sideline, just like ruddy faced, alcoholic nose, just like
like George Blanda.
Yeah, just like a big batch of strawberries, just eating them by the handful.
Right. Give me
some
of that Jack and fire me up a Lucky. Let's go.
I ain't going in. Fuck that. Send somebody else there.
So all the way back to Rodgers for a second.
Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, fuck him too.
Because you were saying how much you wanted to soak in the tears, Andy, as it were.
Yes, please. Yeah.
I can't remember a guy that was so singularly hated in the NFL like Rodgers has become over the last year.
Oh, it's been longer than that, man.
But the last year has accelerated it to it because it's beyond just like he's kind of a diva and a jerk. It's announcing that he wants to leave the Packers on draft day. It's all this stuff with the health stuff. It's the immunized thing. It's whatever political stuff he's done. All these interviews on Pat McAfee's show.
He's come out now saying he thinks the election was stolen.
Damn it.
Yeah. Did you see why he did like this reporter had asked him, I guess, a couple times, like if he wanted to do the interview, and Rodgers eventually just like called him 2 days before the game last week. And one of the questions the reporter asked was, why did you want to do this interview with me? After all this. And Rodgers said, it felt like you were going to do a hit piece on me. So I wanted to get my thoughts on the matter in ahead of time, I guess.
I guess the only thing I could say is that maybe like this whole heel turn is because he knows he's not coming back. He's just, like fucking scorched earth and walking away. I don't know.
I think based on listening to some of the comments and just kind of hearing him, to me, it sounds like he's been like this the whole time. He just didn't tell people about it. Right. Well, it's the whole thing of he doesn't talk to his own brother. He doesn't talk to his whole family hates him. There must be a reason.
Well, that's been going on.
And I think this is it.
I think that was going on back when he was dating Olivia Munn from the newsroom.
Right.
That was like
but that's what I'm saying is all that stuff was kept under wraps, and now he's putting it all up front. Yeah. And now everyone sees, oh, yeah, okay, I get it.
I don't hate the passion of 1,000 Suns like Andy, but I am fucking over his act. I can tell you that.
Sure. And plus, like the whole Jeopardy.
Packers fans are saying, the Jeopardy. Right, you want to be the Jeopardy host? Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh my god, he's so charming, he's so good. No, he was shit at Jeopardy. Yeah, and I just
adequate.
The guy. But that's the thing. There's just so much Aaron Rodgers. It's exhausting. Like, I fucking hate the guy. But I think Packers fans, a lot of them, especially now, they're just like, I just don't want to deal with the noise. Just get him out. I just don't want to deal with the drama. Just get him away. I don't want to do this shit every year.
The best example I can give you, Zach, and it's not exactly the same, but it's similar, was the whole run up before LeBron left Cleveland the first time. It was like at some point you just went, you know what? I just don't give a fuck anymore. Just go. Do what
I guess the decision era LeBron is probably up there.
So the question is now, is Aaron Rodgers going to have his decision? Because LeBron James held his at the Boys and Girls Club. Is Aaron Rodgers going to hold his at a QAnon rally?
No, he's just going to do it on Pat McAfee's show again. That's all that's going to happen.
Well, I mean, the LeBron thing, he was in his prime. Aaron Rodgers is 36, 37.
LeBron has rehabbed his image. I don't think because Aaron Rodgers only has so much time left, he's not going to get that same benefit of the doubt.
When did Favre retire? They won a Super Bowl like 2 years after Favre was gone, right? So like something
like that.
So the Super Bowl, I think Zach, you sent it out, and you know the funny thing about it is there's other teams that have had this happen too. But the 30 years of uninterrupted Hall of Fame quarterback play, they've gotten 2 championships. You know, you can kind of say the same thing about the Colts though, with Manning and then followed by Luck. But the point is that everybody wants to say it's because he didn't have the right team around him. I'm sorry, but when you're an elite quarterback, it can only be the wrong team around you so many times. But this has been at the 12 years now since they won the Super Bowl.
Even when they say that, how many times were they the number 1 seed, number 2 seed, division winner? And like all you have to do is look at that game on Saturday, and that's a game because of how bad everyone is playing. Like all you need is like we mentioned with Tom Brady, you're playing terribly the whole time, but you get one moment. Yeah, and that puts you over the top, and that makes you a great player. Aaron Rodgers didn't have that in him on Saturday.
One of those bullshit Giants teams that won a Super Bowl, was like the 6th seed wild card, and they upset the number 1 seed.
I wanted to bring that up.
Rodgers Packers, yeah. So like there's been a lot of joking.
Yeah, but I wanted to bring that up is that, they always talk about, it's Packer football weather and, it's 4 fucking degrees below zero and blah, blah, blah. It's Packer. Does anybody remember the last time they won one of those games?
Well, I was going to mention like
the Cowboys game.
It wasn't that cold, the Cowboys game. It was like in the 30s that day. Huh?
The Des Bryant game?
Yeah, it was like in the 30s that day. It wasn't like one of these, like the 3 I can remember was when Favre was still quarterbacking. They had one and they lost to the Giants. And then Rodgers has lost 2 of these.
It all turned, and it was during the Favre tenure when they lost to Michael Vick and the Falcons. I distinctly remember that. Michael Vick and the Falcons came up to Lambeau. It was a cold as fuck game, and Vick just ran over the Packers like it was like Madden Vick. And it was, and like since then. Like I don't have the stats in front of me, so I don't want to say definitively the Packers have never won one of these games. But since then, it has not been the insurmountable thing that it used to be.
No, if anything, it's almost a detriment to them. I mean, everybody's like, well, the 49ers aren't used to it. It's like, it's not like every guy that plays for the Packers is from Green Bay, Wisconsin. They're from Florida.
Sure. And it's not like the players who play for the San Francisco 49ers have never played in a cold weather game before.
But I'm not playing cold weather or anything. I mean, they just played like shit in the 40. But the thing is that I think Andy's right. It's just we're just even Packers fans are like enough of this shit already. Just move along.
So Rodgers is 1-4 in NFC title games.
Yeah.
Yep. He lost. They won. Of course, the only time they won the Super Bowl is when they beat the fucking Bears in his first NFC Championship appearance. That was was
that the one where Jay Cutler apparently quit on the team or something?
No, he tore his MCL at halftime, and I don't want to talk about it. But then subsequently, he lost to Seattle, lost to Atlanta. They got blown up by Atlanta.
Yeah, and
blown up by San Francisco, and then Rodgers complained. He said, "We need to have one of these games at Lambeau during this time of year. We'll show them." And then this year they lost.
They lost. They had the NFC title game in Lambeau last year. They lost to the Bucks.
Yeah.
All right. Well, whatever. Fuck them then.
Okay. Well, so by the way, I found there's a USA Today article from just last week that went in incredible detail with a bunch of numbers. But here's the overall thing. In freezing playoff games since the merger, the Packers are 14-6, and these are the list of games that are what they consider those freezing cold games in the playoffs recently. Before yesterday, there was Seattle in 2019, which they won.
They won that one, yeah.
The Giants in 2016, which they won. Dallas in 2014, which they won.
Was that the Des Bryant game?
That was the Des Bryant.
Maybe it was cold that day. I thought it was warmer than that day. Okay.
And then San Francisco in 2013, which they lost. And then Minnesota win, Giants loss. Chicago in 2010 was a win. They've won more than they've lost in the cold games. So,
well, it sure seems like lately that if it's cold out there, they're fucked. But I don't know. I don't know why. I'm not a big fan of dome stadiums, but for fuck's sake, if it's going to be like 14 below zero,
This whole thing is just a matter. It's a matter of the media hyping it up. The media loves this cold weather Lambo shit.
By the way, here's even more of a weird bit of this. Since 1992, where did it go? Okay, so since 1992, at 10 degrees or lower, the Packers are 3-5.
That's what I'm talking about. 10 degrees or lower. Not below freezing, but
again,
I'm talking like fuck all cold.
10 degrees or lower, they're 3-5, 3-4 at home. But between 10 and 15 degrees, they're 7-1.
Oh, that doesn't make any sense. Because I will give you $1,000 if I put you in a room with one that's 15 degrees and one that's 10, and you can tell me the difference.
That's correlation versus causation. I'm sure you look at the wind speeds, wind chills, and all that stuff.
Yeah,
there's more variables.
That's the ultimate conclusion of this article. Is like the stats all kind of get meaningless if you look at them too much of them. But
I remember when I was young, there was a Michigan Wolverine that got drafted by the Bears, David Terrell. And they were talking to him. They were talking to him on Fox about, you got some cold weather coming up. The Bears, how are you going to do? And he's like, the Bears like the cold weather, so I think we'll do well. And it's like, no, that's not how it works. You don't become the animal when you're on the field. You don't somehow get imbued.
And do bears really like the cold weather? They sleep through the whole winter. It doesn't sound like they like it too much.
They kind of hate it,
Fine Michigan education coming through again there. How about that?
Yeah, that guy sucked. But I mean, just the concept. I mean, there's nobody like I don't think there's any one guy. There might be a few lunatics, but there might be nobody that's like, oh man, I can't wait till that fucker comes and throws a 70-mile-an-hour football hard as a rock in my hands in the middle of a cold day. I can't wait for that.
Wow!
It hits me. I can't wait for that.
Well, there is a lunatic like that, Andy, and his name is Aaron Rodgers.
Because he doesn't get hit. He doesn't want to.
Well, they interviewed Aaron Rodgers before this game. They asked him how he feels about cold weather games, and he goes, "I love cold weather games because everyone else slows down and I speed up."
Okay, well, I should like to have seen that happen yesterday.
Yeah, no, and it's like, then why did you only put up 10 points? Like,
I mean, we can beat up on him for as long as you guys want to. I don't care.
Yeah,
I just want to get this question in. Yeah. So I'm assuming he's done. Let's just say that he is. He's going to go off and host fucking right wing alt right Jeopardy somewhere. I don't know, because he's not taking the job away from Ken Jennings and the other one, whatever fucking name is, who's great. Bialik, who's outstanding. Just if you were going to replace Alex Trebek and you only had one choice and it was her, I'd be okay with that. But I don't want to digress. But what's his legacy? I mean, is he, what? He's a Hall of Fame quarterback, but for fuck's sake, he got one Super Bowl back when it was a different game back then.
No, I think as a player, his legacy is going to be the you don't give him any time. If you give him 30 seconds to a minute, you lose.
But what I'm saying is
the Hail Marys
on great quarterbacks. Is he up there with Montana and Brady and Elway?
Yes. Statistically, yeah.
Maybe.
Statistically, yes. I think that in, say, 20 years, when they look back at, the era that's just sort of ending now, they're going to talk about Brady. They're going to talk about Manning. They're going to talk about Big Ben, and they're going to talk about Rodgers. There's going to be the big names. And
all you have to do is look no farther than how Andy's reacting to this loss. Yes. if Aaron Rodgers was a mediocre quarterback who also happened to be a ginormous dick,
that's not what I'm saying.
He lost, it wouldn't be like, oh man,
No,
I mean, but piss on his grave. But because he is as good as he is, and he's a dick, that makes you hate him even more, right?
As a Bears fan, it's tainted because he has ruined. I between him and Favre, so many Sundays of my life have been ruined, tarnished. Hold on, but Favre never gyrated in the end zone screaming, "I fucking own you! I've always fucking owned you my entire fucking life." At least Favre didn't do that. And Aaron Rodgers has, and Favre, for all his faults, he's a charming dude. He can tell a story and stuff. Rodgers, he's just a cunt. He gets out there and he cunts it up, and then he wins. And it makes you feel bad. So it's hard for me to be objective. But I mean, I will absolutely say he is one of the greatest quarterbacks I've ever seen.
I
hate that.
agree with that, but what my point isn't that he's not good. I think he's fantastic. He's one of the best ever.
I mean, you're
But-
talking about legacy, yeah.
I'm talking about when you were like, okay, like in the 80s, you had Montana and you had who was the other one? Elway. Okay. And then there was Dan Marino, who was great too. And I got to watch Marino play his whole career. The guy was fucking supernatural, but you know what? No one ever thinks of him like they do Marino or Elway in Montana.
Well, that's because he never won a Super Bowl, but Aaron Rodgers does have a Super Bowl.
One,
which,
but
yeah.
when you throw that up against like Brady with like 35 or whatever fuck it is by now.
Yeah, I think he's also Rodgers is
I'm
also
just
in a
saying
weird
that-
spot where
Yeah.
he's like in between generations. Like he's not necessarily Tom Brady and Peyton Manning's contemporary, and he's definitely not
Patrick Mahomes and
Patrick
Jake
Mahomes
Allen.
and Josh
Yeah.
Allen and all that.
Yeah.
He's the middle. I guess, is he Ben Roethlisberger's contemporary?
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, they came around the same
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
that feels
Yeah.
better. But I mean, he's still better than Big Ben, but
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I
And he's
I don't
better
think
than Big Ben. He's better than Eli.
Big,
Better than Phil
big,
Rivers.
Big Ben's got more Super Bowls though.
I
Yeah.
don't mean
Eli.
it like he's not good or he's not. I mean, God, he's fucking supernatural. I mean, no matter what kind of a dick he actually is, you can't. There's no arguing that the dude's really fucking good at football. There's just no way around it.
Mhm.
But I think
the legacy is the guy that you didn't want to see have the ball with even 30 seconds left.
I would say
all right, but
here's what I think might help Aaron Rodgers' legacy in terms of only having one Super Bowl, and I think it was you who shared. It's either you, Greg, or Zach. But like between Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, the Packers have had 30 years of uninterrupted Hall of Fame QB play, and they only have 2 titles, like one for each, to show for it. And so I think that that I think is something that people kind of hold up against Favre's career, as beloved as he was, as good as he was. It's like, well, he was only 1-1. He only made 2 Super Bowls. He only won one of them. And I think that when you look at Aaron Rodgers' career in the broader context of Packers history, it's going to be like, wow, you had 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks back to back, and you only got 2 titles out of it. Like,
when you mentioned Favre, I think when you're asking about legacy, I think that's it. Not the same guy by any means, and I'm not even talking about the off the field stuff, but on the field, how they play. But he's the Brett Favre of this section of football history,
which is hilarious because he was supposed to rid us of Favre, and he became the Favre.
Yeah, you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
I think a more appropriate sports comparison in general would be Barry Bonds. He feels like the guy who's incredibly accomplished and talented, but he's an asshole, and Bonds never won a title, so at least Aaron Rodgers won his. But
I think that's a really good description, Andy. I think that hits it right on the head. If you ask me, the same kind of guy.
Yeah, this a dude who's unlikable, but you have to respect him.
Right.
I mean, the Packers fans weren't in love with Brett Favre when he left either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they were in love with him while he played there. I'm not, I like the Packers, but I'm not ingrained in Packer culture, so I can't answer any of these questions.
Yeah.
I'm a Browns fan all the way from the top to the bottom, and that's just fuck me because that's my life. But so I don't know what Packers fans really feel about Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I'm like, hey, cool, quarterback, but I'm not in it knee deep like I am with the Browns, so I really don't know.
Well, and these things change. Everyone seemed to hate Brett Favre when he left.
They didn't want to retire his number.
No, but then when he came back a few years later, he came back for a ceremony or something, and everyone cheered him. So time will heal a lot of these wounds. I'm sure that if Aaron Rodgers uses his newfound contract powers to basically tell the Packers to go fuck themselves, and he goes to play for someone else. And then in 10 years, he goes back to Lambeau to get his number retired or some other Hall of Fame, Ring of Honor ceremony. They'll cheer him, right?
Well, here's a question. Does he literally pull a Favre and go to Minnesota?
No,
no,
they're not good enough.
Do you think he would have any sort of vitriol to be like, I'm going to go to Minnesota or Detroit.
Vitriol
Look.
Vitriol would suggest really emotion. I don't think he has that. He'd do it as a dick move, like, well, fuck them, I'll do this, but not like vitriol. We're like, oh, fuck these assholes. No, I don't think he would do that because that's not.
Look, if Aaron Rodgers really had that much anger in his heart towards the Packers, where he just wanted to fuck with them, like the Vikings, that's fucking easy mode. Go to the fucking Lions, all right, and go. If you want to make a point, like win a Super Bowl for the Lions. If you're so pissed off with the Packers,
I only said the Vikings because I think between the two, between the Vikings and the Lions,
Andy, you want to have them sit in front of Fields for a year or two? What do you think?
I'm not going to acknowledge that.
Of the teams in the North, he's not going to go to Chicago because Chicago wouldn't take him. Like they're already doing their own thing. Detroit also kind of doing its own thing. I don't think that Rodgers would want to be there. If there's a team, it would have to be the Vikings, because not only that, they have the receivers that he would love to play with and that sort of thing.
Sorry.
I'd say I do like the idea of really good quarterbacks having to prestige and go to a shitty organization. Like if they win a title, it's like, do you want to prestige and go play for the Jaguars? It's like, yeah, I guess, I've already accomplished a lot. Might as well make it a challenge for myself. I'm off to the shittiest team in the league.
Like he goes to it would be hilarious if he tried to go to the Lions and the Lions turned him down. You just you just had Dan Campbell out there at the press conference being like, hey, I just didn't dig his vibes, man. All right,
well, when Brady went to the Bucs, it's not like they were like a ready-made Super Bowl team either.
They were a lot closer than the Vikings.
The Vikings are as far off as you think.
I'm gonna remind everyone.
I think there's a lot of Kirk Cousins going on there.
I'm gonna remind everyone that even with these past two Tom Brady seasons, the Buccaneers are still by far have the worst winning percentage in the NFL. In NFL history, so
they lost for 3 straight seasons.
Yeah, and so I think someone calculated it, and it's so 32 on the list. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but the way that it was explained to me is 32 out of 32 for overall winning percentage is the Tampa Bay Bucks. The 31 position is Jacksonville, but Jacksonville's winning percentage is closer to 25 position Detroit than it is to Tampa. Tampa is that far in the crapper compared to everyone else.
You get 35 games under 500 right out of the gate. That's tough to make up over the years.
Yeah. And they had a couple random trips to the NFC title game in the first few decades, but up until they changed the uniforms, they were just never good.
Well, the weird thing about it is that they talked about it yesterday during the pregame, that they played the Rams in the 79 NFC title game. And they had only been a team for so you remember how inept they were.
That was their 4th year. Yeah.
Yeah. And then but it didn't take them long to get pretty good.
The fact that the Buccaneers played the Rams in the 79 NFC title game, that's just a huge what the fuck. How the fuck did that happen?
Well, and the thing, they kept showing the scores for all those early Rams Bucks games. That 79 title game was 9-6.
9-0.
Was it 9-0?
9-0.
Well, I think one of them was 9-6.
They picked up guys like Leroy Selman.
Leroy Selman, who, by the way, has so much shit named after him here. It's unbelievable.
Ricky Bell was a good running back, I think, for that team. They had a couple of wide receivers. I can't remember their names.
He's got a park.
Ricky Bell does, or Leroy Selman?
Leroy Selman. He's got a park and an expressway.
Is he from there too, though, or is he from around?
I have no idea if he's from here or not. Well, I don't think he is. I don't think he is, but he's
he was the Buccaneers until Tom Brady came along, basically, until they won the Super Bowl in 2002.
He was for the longest time, he was the only Hall of Famer Bucks player, and so. Yeah, there is so much shit named after him in this city.
Sorry, go ahead, Andy.
Just real quick final note on Rodgers. So one of the teams I didn't even realize might be in contention to get him is the Philadelphia Eagles. They could trade. They have 3 first-rounders.
Oh, that's true.
They have Jalen Hurts, so they probably have the capital to acquire him.
Could you imagine?
They made the playoffs too, so
Could you imagine the media slob job every time the Cowboys played the Eagles with Aaron Rodgers as an Eagle?
God.
Yeah,
I don't know. You know what? It's just
I love that. I love Zach's response. I don't like that.
Where were you going to take it, Zach? We can move on.
Well, I mean, we're only an hour into this podcast today, and have yet to talk about the best football game of the weekend. In the actual good game of the weekend in the Chiefs Bills. Oh,
wow.
Buffalo. Oh,
I see. Here's the thing. Andy and Greg are talking about how in the Bucks Rams game they missed the Cooper Kupp catch. I saw that whole gameplay. I didn't miss anything in that Bucks Rams game. I missed this entire game because I was in such a downbeat mood after the Bucks Rams game that I just said, you know what, fuck football. I watched an independent wrestling pay-per-view instead because I had a discount code for it, and I said, you know what, fuck it, I'm down with football. I don't care. The Bills and Chiefs can beat the shit out of each other, and but anyway, I was watching this pay-per-view on my computer, and there was a chat stream attached to it. And in the middle of the pay-per-view, people are talking about the game. People are talking about the game, and
a great pay-per-view.
Well, it actually underwhelmed.
Hey, I know we're all on this independent wrestling pay-per-view, but are you watching this football game?
No. Actually, this pay-per-view had a lot of hype going into it, and it did not deliver. So yeah, but no. So I kind of followed the end of this game through the stream, the chat function of this wrestling pay-per-view, which was kind of a surreal experience.
It was a doozy.
Well,
the main thing that needs to be hashed out is the overtime situation.
Yeah.
And so what is this? 2 years in a row now,
like
a coin flip?
Yeah. Well, based on our text chat, it seems like we're all in agreement that the other team should at least get to look at the football.
Well, I'm going to use a baseball analogy here. Okay.
Yeah.
When you're tied at the end of a baseball game, you don't go, well, if this team scores a run, that the top of the inning, and they score, it's like, well, that's it, fuck off. No, you still get the bat in the bottom of the
So and people might get mad at this because I've noticed this position has a lot of pushback, and I for the life of me can't figure out why. I think the NFL should just adopt college football's overtime system. I
don't know if we need to go full college. I think we can do basically leave the regular season overtime as is, because it's the same idea of in the NHL you have overtime and a shootout, and then you're done because it's the regular season. But when you get to the playoffs, you shouldn't have a situation where only one team's touching the puck or the ball. And yes, I understand the argument against it is, well, you should just play defense. Okay, but what happens when you get to these overtime games, especially in a game like that one, the defense is gassed. Whoever was getting the ball first was winning that game.
Well,
I don't think it's a bad thing to in the playoffs give each team at least one possession. And then if it's still tied after that, then you can go to sudden death or whatever. But
I think the best way to do it, which I think is pretty much what you're saying, Zach, is the first team to score, be it a field goal or a touchdown, the other team gets to answer, gets a chance to answer. And if they do answer, then we go to sudden death after that point.
Right. And it doesn't need to be college level where you just keep starting at the 30 or whatever. But put together a full drive. You're professionals. Go out there and put together a full scoring drive. And if you can't do it, then you lose.
Chaos Blast,
because we can't do sudden death in football. It's just too many random things could happen for that.
Especially in this era where I'm not gonna but let's be honest about it. When a game like that gets going, the defense isn't stopping anybody anyway. So why,
especially the end of that game? My God,
especially at the end of that game, yeah. So why? But it seems as silly to me as like I said in baseball, if you score a run in the top of the 10th, guess what? The game's over, and the other team doesn't even get to bat. That doesn't work.
And I don't think you need to do the full 10 or 15-minute period either, because I think that's just extending it unnecessarily.
I've heard a couple of ideas like they like both teams start at the 50 and it's like a 2-minute drill. And
I saw, so just bouncing off of what Chaos Blast comment was, and I saw this on Twitter a couple times. What are the CFL overtime rules?
I think it's a sled dog race, isn't it?
Okay, so basically,
nearest to the dot, is it a curl?
Here's
curling, boys.
Okay. I have the rules in front of me. Each team is given the same number of offensive possessions. A coin toss is held in order to determine which team will start on offense. The first team starts its drive with the ball at the opponent's 35-yard line. Once that team scores or turns the ball over, the second team gets an opportunity to score starting at the 35-yard line. If a team scores a touchdown, they must attempt a 2-point conversion. If one team is ahead after both teams are given an opportunity to score, then that team is the winner. If both teams are still tied, they each get another opportunity to score from the 35-yard line.
So that's like college.
Yes.
I think that's kind of what we're landing on, but I think for NFL, you don't start at the 30. Don't start on the other end of the field. Like, give me a full field drive.
Or at least
at your own
35 or something like that, or even the 40.
Wherever you get the ball on a touchback, start from there and go.
25.
That would be the 25, yeah.
Yeah, and go from there.
I'd even be willing to say, okay, we'll make it to 35 just to kind of speed things up a little bit. Yeah, so with the 35, and I like the idea too of doing it like it's a 2, because why do we have to have the clock running like it's a regular game in overtime? Why not say, okay, you've got 2 minutes, go. And you've got,
because the idea is still technically, if they're tied after the 10 minutes or 15 minutes, then they could go into another and another and another.
Yeah,
but that's still a holdover from the old days where you had to play the full period. If it's sudden death now, then what does it matter?
Well, you know what? Why not just play a full period? Whoever has the most points at the end wins.
I think because it's a thing of like, these games go on long enough. It's the same idea why soccer games end in penalty kick shootouts. Because at a certain point, if you play a football game long enough, someone will probably die. So just like,
well, that's not like the NFL gives a fuck about that. So who cares?
I just do alternating possessions, but make them full field drives.
Yeah, I like that idea.
I think it doesn't. We don't need to overthink this thing especially with the playoffs. Yeah. Just give the other team possession. That's it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think
it doesn't need to be if you kick a field goal, if you score a touch. No, just one team gets the ball, second team gets the ball. If you're still tied, do it again.
Go ahead.
How do you think the Bills fans are feeling today?
Terrible.
Pretty bad. Yeah.
Pretty bad.
I imagine that if you're Josh Allen, you don't feel so bad because he played.
Oh Jesus!
Game of his life, but they just couldn't get a stop.
If I'm a Bills fan, it's bittersweet because you lost, but like, Josh Allen is it. He's good. He is it. He's the franchise quarterback they've been waiting on for a long time.
Right. Like when it comes to I don't know if I really believed in Josh Allen all the way after this weekend. He's there. He's equal to or slightly less than Mahomes, but he's right there.
I do have one more overtime scenario that I'd like to just toss out to see what you guys think of it. This is from our friend Bring Back the Bet on the boards. OT should simply be each team sending its toughest player out midfield, and they fight each other until one submits or dies.
It's the gladiatory. It's like in Troy, the beginning of the Troy, when Achilles fights some random huge dude from the Greeks or something.
The other players could form a circle around them and snap their fingers while they're fighting. If one team was savvy enough to send its ape for overtime, good for them.
No, how about we repurpose the XFL's coin toss ball scramble as the overtime?
I just want to point out that if I ever win the Powerball, like one of those $500 million Powerballs, I'm financing Bring Back the Vets Football League. I'm just going to tell you right now because he's got some great ideas. Anyway, I forgot. I didn't mean to derail us like that.
I like the idea of you CTE riddled players from your team, and you just have them do puzzles or something until one of them completely just they forget their wife's name or something, and they just have to leave the field. They've been out CTE'd.
I mean, that's a lot safer. No one's going to get hurt that way. It's just, yeah.
But I think it's so funny that people brought up the fact that like it took the Chiefs less time to get a game-tying field goal drive from their own 25 than it did for the Cowboys to run a quarterback draw.
Yeah, absolutely.
13 seconds, man.
13 seconds. Well, and the thing with that too, and people are criticizing this. Why did they not force them to? Why kick a straight touchback? Make them run some time off the clock. Either squib it or sky it or something.
They were scared to death that Tyreek Hill would get it. That's why. But you know what? Well, at that point, though, if you can't tackle, if he runs it back, that's okay. That's the way it goes. But you don't hand. You can almost see the logic because 13 seconds. You go, who the fuck can do anything in 13 seconds from there? Well, except there's like one guy and he did it.
Well, you had it. You had it right the first time.
What's that?
And again, play regular defense. It's like we were talking about with the Bucs. Play regular ass defense. Don't play soft and let them gash you through the seam. Just play regular ass defense.
You know what drives me nuts about? I've seen your Rams do it, Zach. I've watched the Browns do it. I've watched every fucking NFL team that I've ever watched has done this at some point. You get out, you start stomping the shit out of somebody. For some reason, you decide we're gonna start running out the clock with 13 minutes to go in the third quarter. Yep. And you quit doing what got you there in the first place. That's as silly to me as like going, you know what? I'm 4 for 4 batting left-handed in this game. Fuck it. I want to speed the game up. I want to bat right-handed now. It's just dumb. It's like, do what got you there. And either you win or you lose. But
we said, God, we've been saying that since the Falcons game, right?
Yeah.
Just Super Bowl loss.
Yeah, I mean, what the fuck? Just if you're gonna, if it's working, keep doing it. And and do it until it doesn't work. Unbelievable. But what do we know?
Well, say we do have a interesting slate of games to pontificate upon for this weekend.
How do we do in our picks, by the way?
Okay, so Greg, you are currently still leading.
Everybody.
Well, the divisional round weekend, we each got 2 points. The math kind of worked out weird to where we each got a game right and 2 games wrong, or 2 games right and 2 games wrong. So the week 1 standings are pretty much still the same. Greg, you have 8. Zach and I both have 7, and Mike has 6. So we have Bengals at the Chiefs and 49ers at the Rams. Yes.
For anybody just listening to this, I don't think we're talking too much about the Bengals because we talked about the Bengals for 3 hours on Saturday.
That game was shit, and
that's why you've got to throw out all the talk of this being the greatest football weekend ever, because that game was anything but great.
That game was garbage, but I will say, despite it being garbage, good on the Bengals.
Yeah,
it finished interestingly.
Yeah, the ending was pretty good.
And just a little side note here: the Bengals are undefeated in the AFC Championship game. Just so you know, they've won it twice, played in it twice. Now, granted, that was like 150 years ago, but
didn't they play the Chiefs in one of them? Didn't we discover that?
They played the first one. They beat the Chargers, and in the second one, they beat the Bills, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah. Greg, you're sporting the Bengals avatar.
Yeah.
I assume you're going to take them. Are you taking the Bengals to beat the Chiefs?
I'm not making the pick right now, but
come on.
No, fuck it. You know what? Yeah, I am, because I in our big super football thread on the boards, I seem to be one of the few people there that actually honestly believes the Chiefs or the Bengals have a real shot in this game.
They beat them 3 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, not a puncher's shot. Not like, oh my God, this could accidentally happen. I think for one of those weird football reasons that I can't even explain, the Bengals just match up well against these guys. And
it's a similar thing to what just happened against Buffalo, right? You got Joe Burrow who can match Mahomes throw for throw.
And as weird as it's going to sound, and I think that first off, if Buffalo wins that game last night, I'm like, there's no way the Bengals, that's it, they're done. They're finished. Yeah. But the Chiefs are the better matchup for them. And as strange as that sounds. And I think their defense, I just think they can do it. I can't give you a really good reason, but you just look at it. I watched them play. I watched the entire game when they played a couple weeks ago. Granted, that was just a regular season game, and there wasn't a lot on the line for Kansas City, but the the Chiefs got out to a 14-point lead. The Bengals came back and won that game, and I think they're capable. So I'm going to go with my Bengals. I'm taking it all the way. Yeah.
The Bengals since 2008 are 5-1 against the Chiefs.
There you
for
go.
Whatever that means.
That's
doesn't mean
what
anything.
I was saying on the boards. It was like, no, it's just one of those fucked up, like the Jaguars have beaten the Colts at home 7 straight times. The Jaguars shouldn't beat anybody at anything 7 straight times, but they've done it. It's just football's weird that way. You get teams. I'm sure Andy, the Bears have got a team. It's like no matter how fucking good you are, you can't beat those guys. You know, like with the Browns, it's been the Steelers forever. I mean, even when the Browns were really good in the '80s and the Steelers sucked, it was still a struggle just to get past those assholes. And that's just what I think it is. It's one of those things that the Bengals match up well. They're like the thorn in the side of the Chiefs. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I'm going with the Bengals.
Anyone else taking the Bengals?
I want to, especially after seeing Patrick Mahomes' fiance and brother.
Oh, fuck them, man. God.
Jesus.
Yes, I always knew his fiance girlfriend at the time was just a crazy person.
Probably,
and her brother and his
asshole in the sun too, right, Mike?
Pardon?
I said she probably bleaches her asshole in the sun.
Yeah,
too.
probably. Who the fuck?
And then his brother is just like this social media menace that I don't know what else I don't know if he has a job or not, but he just follows his brother around and makes TikToks on the field before every game.
I will. You know what? Does Patrick Mahomes' fiance sound like Miss Piggy?
Probably. If not, we're going to say she does.
Well, he sounds like Kermit the Frog. So
yeah.
No, she's just like just mousy, I guess.
But really quick on Mahomes, like. I think it's really weird. I've never seen a tide turn on a guy quite this fast because we all loved him. I mean, at first, now it's kind of like, oh, for the love of God, you know, maybe it's because of his brother.
I still like Patrick Mahomes. Like I like Patrick Mahomes a lot. I just think his choice in partner and his unfortunate link to his brother.
I was gonna say, were you about to say like his choice in brother?
No. But like, I don't know if anybody else saw this video, but after. So again, his brother's already kind of a douche on social media, and then the fiance is annoying. But after the game ended, they were in their suite at the Arrowhead Stadium, popped a champagne bottle and just sprayed it on the people below them.
Oh, I'm sure those people loved that in Kansas City in January.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing that this isn't confirmed or not, but it's possible that the people directly below their suite were the Kansas City area Alcoholics Anonymous group.
Oh my
God!
This is not confirmed, but it's just somebody did like they announced it during the game that hey, welcome the Kansas City Alcoholics Anonymous group. They're sitting in section 120. You know, great for them to be out here at the game.
Hold on a minute.
And that section just happened to be like directly below this. One of the sections that might have been directly below the suite that they were in, based on the video, and
please let that be true.
Wait, I've got a question about this though. If they're Alcoholics Anonymous, should we really be pointing out where they're sitting? Like, oh, by the way, that section over there, all a bunch of fucking alcoholics, every last one of them.
Well, I mean, it's not really anonymous. Like the court tells you to go, so
no, not always, but yeah.
Well, let me see what the scoreboard said. But either way,
dude,
it says members of the Kansas City area Alcoholics. Please join us in welcoming the members of the Kansas City area Alcoholics Anonymous, sitting in section 120 tonight. Congrats and good luck on your journey through this recovery.
Oh Lord.
Yeah,
and that's right underneath the fucking champagne shower.
Wow. Well, first off, they shouldn't have done that, period. And I don't know if I wouldn't be surprised if his brother knew they were like that. He's like, hey, this will be funny on
also let's keep in mind, kind of going back to what we talked about last week about, you know, Major League Baseball teams popping champagne after you win like one round.
That was the second part of it, right?
You won the divisional round. Calm down.
Right. First of all, you won the divisional. Calm down. Secondly, don't spray it on people that didn't ask to be sprayed on, especially when it's as cold as it was in Kansas City, and it's like. Because it wasn't just spray. Like when she popped the bottle initially, it comes out with a big surge, and it didn't like spill on the ledge in front of her. It spilled directly over the side, and so somebody just got drenched in unwanted champagne.
Yeah, it's
congratulations on your win. I'm sure everybody was really happy. But if I was there, I would have been like, "Oh my god, we won the game! What the fuck was that?"
Last concert I went to see Genesis, and it was like the second song in, and I went to reach down to off my chair. My chair was soaked. My coat was soaked.
Yeah,
from beer, and I was like, "Hey, this is a great time." I was like, "I'm going to kill this fucking asshole behind me."
Exactly.
Because
nobody wants to be wet when they didn't sign up for it to happen.
Especially not outside in January.
Here's the thing:
it's one thing to go on Splash Mountain and know what you're getting into. It's another to just be like eating a hot dog nearby.
Well, and one other thing about that, and this actually happened to me that night. I had a coat that just smelled like beer because it was soaked in beer. Now, fortunately, I threw it in the back of the car, but I was driving home. We got pulled over because I was speeding through a town. Imagine if I'd been wearing that coat. Now I've got to get out and do a sobriety test and all this other shit over I had something I had nothing to do with.
Sure.
But no, I hate that shit. But anyway, I digress. It's just,
but does that make me like, I want to root for the Bengals because of those reasons. And I just think it'd be a great story, but man, these Chiefs and Mahomes is like, what do you do? What do you do?
The way that this
you could literally give them 10 seconds and they'll do it. Like
the way that this game played out and the way that the game that we streamed played out, look, I'm pulling for 49ers Bengals. That's the Super Bowl I want. It's not going to be the Super Bowl we get. I'm picking the Chiefs. They're going to win this.
Zach, are you going with the Chiefs then?
Yeah, I'll go Chiefs.
I'm going Bengals.
All right.
I cannot in good conscience support a team that has Mahomes' brother. Just genuinely, it's the most irritating shit. Anything people do for like the TikTok likes and Instagram shit, it's all like I did hear a story the other day of somebody who got shot in the chest for TikTok and died. I can't endorse just anything involving that shit. So,
did you see the thing with him? Like, I think maybe it was last week, 2 weeks ago. He was wearing a jacket. It was supposed to say Mahomes, but it might have just said Mahomes. Like, it might have been missing an E.
Whatever.
Which is like funny. It would be funny if it's like, haha, that's you misspelled Patrick Mahomes' name, but that's also his name.
Well,
it's attention this guy does not deserve.
No, he's getting the attention because he's related to another guy. That's it.
It's the Kardashian effect.
It's like Billy fucking Carter. For those of you old enough to know who that is. And didn't he get in trouble too for when they played the Washingtons? He was like dancing on Sean Taylor's 21.
Yeah, but that wasn't his. That was determined to not be his fault. That was where the football team puts the VIPs is like in that little roped off area. Okay. The football team was stupid enough to put the memorial number inside the VIP area.
Which is, just classic football team.
Right, exactly. Wait,
classic soccer workforce.
Yeah, the
oh man. Just so we're speaking of that, I mean, we're just over a week away from the unveiling.
Really, just a week? Wow.
Yeah. We'll have it for not the next week's show, but the one after that. We should have it, right?
We'll discuss.
People are saying
Pro Bowl week coverage.
Yep.
People are the money is on Commanders. That was apparently the leak.
I want it to be Comrades. Cameron Sickle on the helmet. I want go fucking lean right into it, man. Come on, it'll be awesome.
So what's the story? I mean, Zach, you're going Rams. Yeah, I'll just put Zach. Rams.
I mean, yeah.
Is anyone taking the 49ers?
No.
I can't take the 49ers. I'm sorry. This team is succeeding in spite of Shanahan and Garoppolo, and that can't be sustainable. The Rams are the better team. The Rams will take care of business.
Man, the way I was so invested in the Rams yesterday, I can't quit them now, so I'm all in on the Rams.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, decent uniforms. They were something stupid, and I'm going to have to jump right off again.
I think based on what they've worn the last 2 weeks, they're probably going to go blue over gold, which would make sense.
All right. It won't look as good as the Niners, but it's passable, so I can live with it.
I looked into tickets, obviously, because I really was excited and really wanted to go. Immediately when they went on sale, by the time they went on sale at 3 p.m. Pacific, which there were still 7 minutes left in the game.
Well, there you go. That's what happened right there.
Well, they just timed it out that way ahead of time because I guess they hoped that the game would have been over by then. And when I initially got on, I was in queue behind 2,000 people. But basically the way it worked, by the time the general public got to buy them, the season ticket holders already purchased everything. So the only things available were resale market. And the initial ticket prices when I logged on were $700 for the cheapest seat. By the time I looked before I went to bed, it was $900 for the cheapest seat. I looked at work today, and now it's down to about $525 for the cheapest seat. But
keep your eye, just keep watching. I'm telling you, man. I don't know if there's a way you can do it.
No, I know, but I'm trying to make plans to watch it with people next week.
Yeah.
So now it's I can't cancel that on the morning of.
You'll have more fun watching it with people on a good TV anyway. You know.
Wait. You're gonna watch with other people? I'm not talking about Alex. I mean a group of other fans.
As long as they're Rams fans, it's okay. I think.
Well, they're my friends. Yeah, that's the idea. I was gonna have people over and watch the game. Yeah,
but I mean, I just don't. The last thing I would want to do if it was the Bears playing against whoever for the NFC title game, I would be alone, so alone. I wouldn't even. I wouldn't even
this
want.
This is supposed to be a shameful experience.
Well, here's the deal. I didn't think about this till just right now. The last time the Rams were in the NFC title game against the Saints, I watched it at a friend's house with people.
Oh, there you go. We got to do it again. Yeah.
But I've also been sitting in the same spot on my couch the last 2 weeks wearing the exact same clothes.
Oh, fuck.
So
this is a problem,
I
man.
don't know if I'm messing with it or not.
Well, here's the thing. All right, you've got the NFC Championship thing that you've done already, which has proven successful. You've also got this, but this hasn't been the NFC Championship. So I think you're okay either direction on this. Yeah. I'm dead serious when I say that.
I just don't, if the Rams lose, the last thing I'd want to is have a bunch of friends around. If I was a Rams fan, it's like, oh, it's all right, man. Hey, it was a great game. Fuck off.
Yeah, no, that's what happened. So that's what happened in the Super Bowl, because then I hosted people for the Super Bowl because I'm like, my team's in the Super Bowl. My friends should come over. It's going to be great. And then it was the most miserable 3-hour experience. And as soon as the game was over, I just kind of stood up, and my friends were like,
everybody leave.
No, I stood up. I went to my room. I sat down on the bed for a minute, took off my jersey, and just kind of expressed, just didn't cry or yell or anything. It was just just gonna sit here. I'm gonna let it wash away, and then I will go back out and I will hang out with my friends. I will have a beer, eat some snacks.
No.
I need a moment to myself.
No, you're doing it. You're doing it wrong. I mean, I appreciate the fact that you recused yourself to if it's me, and maybe I'm just a masochist or something, but if my team loses, which they do always in big situations for the most part, not including the Blackhawks rapist,
they found a way to taint those. Yeah. They found a way to taint those victories.
Right, but I mean, I need to listen to the post game. I need to listen to the coverage and watch fans sadly file into the streets. I need to watch.
It's an important part of the grieving process.
That is something that I after a big game like that, I cannot do it immediately. That is something I say the next day.
Okay, so you kind of wake up with a clear head and start the morning process.
I just
want to point out that
my soul has been so crushed over the years that I don't really even care. Whatever happens, happens. That's just the way it is.
When the team wins, of course, I want to hear all the post game. I want to turn on the radio. I want to hear the whole thing. But when they lose, it's no. I need time to myself, and I will process this in a rational manner tomorrow.
I remember. I mean, I can't remember a football game from, I mean, maybe 5 my whole life. I remember how I felt in '87 after the Browns fumbled in the AFC Championship game, and it was like someone had shot me, and I was just I just wanted to just crawl in a hole and die. And
I mean, after that Bucks game, my response was, I'm gonna watch some deathmatch garbage wrestling. I'm just gonna watch people bash like
And-
fluorescent light bulbs over their heads.
And the nice thing about this game, it's the second of the two, so it's not like if I like, hey, everybody come over, let's watch both games. It's not like I'm gonna lose and then have to sit there while the other game's going on. I'd be like, okay, the game's over, everybody can leave now. Thanks.
I just, it's like I said, I've just been crushed so many times over the years between the Browns and the Indians. It's just like I don't feel anything. I'll be happy if they ever pull it off. I was happy when the Cavs, even though I'm not a Cavs fan, it was a Cleveland championship. I'm like, all right, that's cool, that's fun. But when the Cubs beat us in the World Series in 2016, I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm used to this. That's all right. Sucks, but it's what we expected. And okay, turn off the TV, and that was that. Yeah. So yeah, I'm with Andy though. It's like I'll never go to another Super Bowl party the rest of my life. I just won't do it because they're awful. They're just fucking awful.
Yeah. Luckily, my group of friends, at least people are paying attention for the most part.
If you guys if we were together and you guys want, I'd have no problem with that because you're all knowledgeable, smart fans. But going to a Super Bowl party and having some fucking Karen from down the street going, I don't get it. What? Just shut the fuck up. Just go.
Or inexplicably deciding to want to talk about something that is not football related at the football game.
Have you seen the latest season of This Is Us? No, fuck off. Go away.
This is I know absolutely nothing about this show, but people keep talking about it, and I don't care.
It's tear porn, is what it is.
How did the Rams get here again? Do you think they fly into the game or do they drive? It's like, just go fuck yourselves. Leave me alone. I don't want to do that ever again.
I mean,
no more.
That's the thing. Is to me, if it's a neutral party toward that's fine because it's obviously you don't have a rooting stake. You can just show up and be like, oh, okay, the game sucks, or the game's great, whatever. Watch commercials, see the halftime show, just drink and eat and all that stuff. But if you have a rooting interest in a fucking Super Bowl, no, get all those people the fuck out of there, away, like within like a mile and a half radius.
It should be you in a dark room and a TV.
I'm telling you, if God forbid, if the Browns ever get to the Super Bowl, I'm locking myself in that room, and the cat's not even fucking allowed in there. It's gonna be just me, and that's it. Period.
See, I think that's the way I am with the Ducks. But I think football has always been kind of a communal experience to me, so I can.
Fair enough.
I can take it in with people.
No, man. I you know what? No, it would be great,
especially the Super Bowl.
There's one group I would go with, the old Syracuse Browns backers that I used to watch the games with back when I lived up there. I would watch a Browns Super Bowl with them because they all get it. But anything short of that, you've got to be like a high priest of Cleveland Browns football, or I'm not even fucking discussing the matter with you. It's that simple.
Yeah, I mean, to me, to cope with the pain of defeat, especially the bigger the game, the harder the fall. So I mean, if the Bears somehow, because the thing is though, a team like the Bears, because rooting for a shitty team like the Bears, it's almost like lightning in a bottle, a house of cards. You don't want to move anything the wrong way because they'll probably be 12 years before they get back to this point. So when they fail, it's just like I had hope there for a minute. And now I have to go back to the cellar of mediocrity for the next probably 8 to 10 years. And I don't want to be around people, especially if they're like, even if they're big fans and they're just talking about like, oh, they suck or the special teams were shitty. It's like, dude, I don't want to use the English language right now is no appeal to me. Just be quiet.
And that's,
wait, how did you take in the Bears Colts Super Bowl?
Reluctantly.
I was alone. I watched it in my small bedroom at the time, and just think that kind of game though. After the Hester return, it was just one-sided affair, and the Bears had no chance. So I had like 3.75 quarters to just.
You were over it by the time the game ended.
I was full of hate by the time the game ended. Just contempt. Yeah, so.
It's so unfortunate, Andy. You were born in the wrong era because I'm telling you, man, going into that '85 Super Bowl. The only question was whether or not the Bears were going to allow a point. It was done. You were world champions before that fucking game ever even started.
That whole game that's another one of those weird Super Bowls where it's like the shitty pre-Brady Patriots somehow popped up into a Super Bowl.
Fucking Eason. They beat Dan Marino's Miami Dolphins.
Yep. Which was the only team to beat the Bears that year.
Yeah.
Yep. And that would I don't know. I can't complain though, man. I've seen a Cubs World Series. I've seen 3 Blackhawks titles.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen the Bears go to a Super Bowl, so I can't complain a ton. But
I just want to get there just once. I just want to be there. I want to be the last guy standing just one fucking time, man. That's
just
all
once. Just once, yeah.
I don't care. They didn't have to win. Just get there. Fuck it. I don't care. Go. You know, make the Super Bowl and lose by 30. I don't give a shit. I just want to be there.
Well, it's unique with like the Browns, for example, because like when the Browns, you know, someday they'll win a Super Bowl, it's going to be like when the Cubs won, because there's just going to be a lot of people by graves and like with like old, for real, old relatives who never lived to see a Super Bowl with the Browns, and it's not going to be so much celebratory as it is like kind of a somber kind of like, I wish my dad could have seen this team win. But they're so shitty for so long, they're fucking dead because you assholes couldn't put together a winning team for so long.
Because you assholes drafted Tim Couch.
Right. because
you passed on Josh Allen for Baker fucking Mayfield.
Right. I mean, it's a lot of that, to where it's like you've stolen not just entertainment, but you've stolen the sports gratification of rooting for a competitive team for generations. Being incompetent, and it's bittersweet. But I mean,
we've got a guy in Wyoming playing quarterback who looks really good. He's like 6'5", got a rocket for an arm. He's playing football against the other team, the officials. There are bison and moose on the field while he's playing, and he's still tearing it up. No, let's go with a little short guy out of fucking Oklahoma.
Go watch Josh Allen's college tape. He's a man among boys. And his arm is just as good then as it is now. And I mean,
it is almost baffling to like, how was this guy not the number one pick when you watch that tape?
Well, because of Wyoming, because that's
who the fuck cares?
There were bison and moose on the field while he played. That's got to count for something. Come on. And probably snow every day, and they were at like 24,000 feet altitude.
But just going to Josh Allen. It was brought up that Josh Allen and Josh Allen played an amazing game and he lost. Meanwhile, Jimmy Garoppolo played like hot garbage and won. It's not fucking fair.
There's no justice in the world, none.
Well, with another one of those fun stats that does lean into justice, and Andy will appreciate this. Rex Grossman and Aaron Rodgers have the same amount of NFC Championship game victories.
Yeah, they're basically the same. Yeah. Well, I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo, besides being a fellow Eastern Illinois graduate, we're basically friends. He's paid like an average of $27 million. So, the guy is he's what, 30, probably early 30s. He's going to float around the league for a little bit longer and be a backup, very well paid, maybe start a bit here and there. And he's going to go right into TV afterward because, I mean, look at that guy. He's going to go right into TV.
He's going to be the face of some network.
He's a handsome devil, I got to tell you, man.
So, I mean, you can trash Garoppolo all you want. Like, that guy's already won. So, I mean, what are you going to take away from him?
He's already won, but again, I go back to that Super Bowl a few years ago where it was Chiefs-Niners, and they had this commercial of Montana and Young, and then also Garoppolo, and it's like, he better win this game or this is not going to age well.
Speaking of Montana and Young, okay, that's a good example of that 30 years of Hall of Fame quarterbacking thing. That duo won 5 championships.
Yeah.
That should be where Favre and Rodgers are, really, if you want to get about it. But
instead they are just, one each.
That Jim Plunkett has as many rings, Super Bowl rings, as Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre combined.
Hell, you know who else does? Trent fucking Dilfer.
So you got 1 or 2?
Dilfer's got 1. He's got 1.
Oh yeah. So Trent Dilfer, Aaron Rodgers, same number of championships. That's what I'm talking about with the legacy thing. It's like, he won the 1 ring, but he's still Dan Marino. I don't care what anybody says. Great player, but I guess my point with that was, when you look at him, do you go, oh yeah, we've seen him do it a million times, but when it's like in a championship game or in a playoff game, do you go, yep, he's going to get it done? I never feel that way.
Well, the joke this year was, can't choke in the NFC Championship game if you're not playing in the NFC Championship
That's a
game.
good point. I will say this though: Joe Montana yesterday, if he was quarterback in the Bucs, they would have come back and won by 20. Just saying.
Oh God.
Ken Anderson probably only by 14, but either one would have gotten the job done. So there, Tom Brady. What do you think of that?
Hey, Zach, I have a question. If the Rams make the Super Bowl, they're in the road uniforms. Is that right?
Yes, this is something that we need to discuss.
Oh, I guess is the NFC the road team?
The NFC is the road team. Yep.
The Bucs went with white last year. They were the home team and chose white.
So the important thing that needs to happen if the Rams win, above all else, they need to wear the yellow bottoms.
Yes,
and they need to wear the quote unquote modern throwbacks.
Yeah, so I don't know because
burn the bone shit. Just burn
because
it.
They wore blue over gold at home against the Cardinals.
Yeah.
And then they went on the road where the Bucs decided to wear white at home, so they wore blue over gold again. I'm assuming they're going to wear blue over gold again because, superstition and all that, but that's not confirmed whether or not they would. So they haven't had to wear their actual road uniform this playoff. So I don't know.
Well, God bless them for that, first off, that they didn't actually wear it.
Let me see.
You'd think that they would wear the yellow pants because that would be at least a somewhat continuity of the successul clothing.
Sure.
But the same thing they wore in the 99 Super Bowl. Well, not the same thing, but same combo, basically. Yeah.
But would they go with the bone top, or was that?
They've worn bone over yellow before. There's a writer that actually keeps. Yeah, there's a writer that keeps track of
bone over. Oh, that's disgusting.
Okay.
No.
This season, they've worn bone, in which they're 3-0 this year. They wore bone over yellow twice. They won both times. They wore bone over blue 3 times, in which they were 2-1. And then they wore the white throwbacks with yellow pants twice, 1-1. And they wore the white throwbacks with blue pants once, where they were 0-1.
They need to wear the white throwbacks and the yellow pants.
Yeah.
That's what they got.
Yeah.
If they make it to the Super Bowl, that's what they got to wear.
That goes back to that question we were talking about the last regular show. Do they have to declare, like, if we're the road team, we're going to wear our alternates, or can they make that decision on the fly for the Super Bowl?
Well, I don't know if they had to do it before the season because before the playoffs. They haven't had to, so I don't know. Because I thought I remember back in the day, like the one of the times that the Steelers made the Super Bowl, they were the 6th seed the whole way. They were the home team for the Super Bowl,
and they
decided right. But see, I guess
the throwback uniform's an alternate. So would they have to declare we're wearing an alternate? Is what I'm asking. Like, didn't we say last week that you've got to like establish you're going to wear it, and then you're allowed?
Yeah,
to?
I don't know. And I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know who they what they picked because they wouldn't have had to tell us until they've had to do it. So,
well,
that is an interesting question.
Rams Bengals,
and trust me, if there's anything that I've learned on Rams social media, the active folks of Rams social media, especially Rams Twitter, we are all quite concerned with what they wear every week. Thus, somebody tracking this with a record of what they wear every week.
Cool. I'm going to say this. If the Rams wear bone in the Super Bowl, they deserve to lose, and that's just
well. Here's the other thing of it, Mike. In the years since the uniform switch, bone over bone all time is 8-1, the most wins of any combo.
Here's a question: if the Cincinnati Bengals win, that'll be their second in a row in the white. Do they just say? Do they pull?
They don't get to pick though.
Yeah,
or no, or yeah. I guess it does depend on what.
Yeah, because if they're the AFC representative, they pick. So do they do a Steelers or what the Bucs did last year? Do they go, you know what, we're sticking with what works?
No, I think because they had the one home game, they probably go with the home.
Oh, yeah, right. I was thinking you're right. Never mind.
They're gonna do something dumb like orange over black or all black.
Oh God.
I mean, in an uncruel world, they would go all white with the road look.
The Rams and the blue and the gold,
or they're going to wear their clownfish pants, and Andy's rage will be unstoppable.
So if it's the Niners, God forbid, if it's the Niners and the Chiefs, and it's going to be basically the same uniform matchup we got when they played after the 19 season, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So It's just a shame if the Rams do get to the title game against Cincinnati. The new stupid horn robs us of maybe the greatest helmet Super Bowl of all time.
Oh yeah, that classic Rams helmet against the Bengals helmet would be that would be perfect.
Yeah.
Like,
but
that's
instead we're going to get like the stupid golden ratio banana helmet. Yeah.
Well, Well, anyway, we'll see. First the Bengals have to win, and then the Rams have to win, and then it'll be fun.
I will say.
Well, let me see, Zach. How will you feel when you rip McCarthy's heart out when your team wins? Because I don't think the Bengals beat the Rams.
Oh, I
have no problem with that, right?
I mean, yeah, I'll send him a fruit basket or something.
So the lousy thing is for you, Zach, is that you guys, they don't play until late on a Sunday. Well, not late, but Sunday evening. They're the second game. So
yeah, I mean, it's 3 o'clock over here. It's not like it's.
Well, sure.
Because they're playing the Niners, I'm going to be thinking about this every single day between now and then. I know the Niners have been playing shitty, but they keep winning, and they've beat us 6 times in a row. And despite all of our best efforts, I know there's going to be too many fucking Niner fans at this game on Sunday, and I'm already getting like in a mood about it.
I know the feeling. I was the same with the Broncos 2 years in a row. I was like, God damn it, because I'll have a flashback right here. Fucking John Elway, great quarterback.
Walking around with nervous farts and just like kind of, just you can't think of anything else. It's just consuming you.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Well, have fun with that.
Thanks. I'll keep you all abreast of my emotions throughout the day on Sunday.
I'm anticipating just another barrage of just like vomiting gifs and just a lot of oh god, oh fuck.
That vomiting gif you posted yesterday was harsh. It was brutal, but it was accurate at the time. Man.
As that game started to collapse, the pit in my stomach could not get any deeper. It was just like
it was rough. I was just like, he's going to do it again. And I don't like him, and I will die on the Joe Montana's better hill. But you got to respect that motherfucker, man. There's just no two ways about it. That Tom Brady, playing as shitty as he played yesterday, still had us scared shitless up to the very end. That's how good he is. So fuck him. I hope he does retire. And I know I don't want him to retire. I want him to become a second string quarterback and go the George Blanda route. Smoke cigarettes on the sideline, have a big beer gut. Who gives a fuck? I don't care. That's what I want to see. That'd be great. Come on. Anyway, we got anything else, fellas, or should we move along here?
I think we're pretty good stop point there.
We've got the Russian bot at the war.ong.
I say our tank has been constantly populated with random bots spewing just
for fuck's sake,
Russian trash.
That'll teach me to start watching The Americans on Amazon Prime, I guess, right? Do you guys ever see that show, The Americans?
Yeah. It was on FX.
Do they ever get to pull off their super secret spy mission?
Well, yeah, they pull off a bunch, but don't say anything because I have not seen the end of it. I just started. I'm like halfway through second season. Is it worth sticking with back?
I did. I watched it off and on. And my grandfather watched it a whole bunch. I every time I sat down to watch it, I loved, especially the early seasons. Okay, but it is one of those things that as it kind of goes on, you are like, all right, are you guys gonna do like the thing or not?
Well, yeah, and it's like, how long can you keep getting away with it with an FBI agent living across the street from you?
Right. Well, yeah, right.
It's like if I was like had a meth lab here and the cops are like right across the street.
Yeah.
I just assume the opening to Black Widow is the just more concise version of The Americans.
I thought, yeah, that's true. I think one of the more interesting things that happens as the show goes on is as the kids grow up a little bit, and then they have to like
deal with that. Yeah.
So.
Well, I know the daughter's already starting to get suspicious. She's already like, something's not right here. So, yeah, I like it. I mean, I didn't watch it. I heard it was good back when it was out, but I think I was like,
Daddy keeps Skyping with a Russian man. Like,
this is like in 1982. They even do.
It takes yeah.
Yeah, it's like a period piece. But they even did the when Reagan got shot by what's his name, Hinckley. They did.
I think it's a worthwhile watch for sure.
Okay. I'll take a look. I'm also Ozark just came back out with season 4, so I got to get into that again too. But anyway, all right, we done?
I think so.
All right, let me.
Yeah, we've taken enough of the people's time.
Yeah,
over
it's
the
like
past
7
3
hours
days.
of us over the past couple of days, so not bad.
Okay.
So hey, we appreciate you guys for hanging with us for all that.
And we're gonna try. And I think we said we're gonna try streaming a USFL game.
Oh, for sure.
Probably gonna be a better game than the one that we watched.
I would hope so.
22 apes running into each other would have been a better game than the one we watched.
For sure.
All right, folks, we're going to call it a night. Follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports. Subscribe via Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, the YouTubes, and wherever fine podcasting is sold. We'll see you all next week.
Latest.